think I just took the speedster. I was aiming for a reefie. A big school of tuna just came through. This guy's just ripped line off like it's going out of fashion. Why do I always do this? Why do I always do this? So if it doesn't turn into a shark. Just using the boat to try and gather line and get a bump in. Otherwise they just run like crazy. Oh, he's just got a shark on him. Got a very big shark on him. Oh, that's exactly why I didn't want the tuna. So many sharks in the bay at the moment. The tuna are just like clean cut, no abrasion. It's a big shark too. Big shark. G'day folks, Luke here, getting ready for another fishing session. I'll show you the inside workings of the shed. This is my ready rod rack, okay? I've got a whole heap of rods down there in the rack where the workshop is. A whole heap of stuff happening over there, which I'll show you another day. But this is where I keep the ready to go stuff. Nice and high so I can be in the boat and basically move around and grab rods, camping gear, everything else I need and load it straight into the boat. So what I'm doing, I like to, without breaking anything, I like to bring the rods in because all my tackle that I'm using at the moment is in the front of the center console. So this is where all the tackle storage is. Well, this is the way I store all the tackle in the Fusion 19. Front of the center console in this hatch down here. And she's loaded up. There's it's about four tackle trays deep below that, and there's just way too much stuff. way too much stuff. What I'll do is retile my leaders, check my knots, and put on the lures, which I think are most likely what I'm going to be using when I first get to my spot in the morning, okay? Last thing I want to do is rock up to a spot, fish are breaking up, action's happening, and then have to spend time tying leader on and lures on and things like that, and then heaven strikes, something happens, the fish go off the bite while I'm mucking around. I like to have everything ready. The thing I like to do while I'm doing that, because this will take me half an hour or so, I'll bring in probably most of those rods. I'll probably usually carry about 6 to 8 different rods. Is charge my battery. So even if I know they're not fully down or anything like that, I'm talking about the 24 volt setup for the Minn Kota and my cranking battery. I like to put everything on charge while I'm doing this. It's just a little habit I've got into to make sure my batteries are as fresh as they can be. So we'll get down there and have a look at that. I've got a plug down the back. I just run a cord in through the back of the boat. Okay, I've got this cord here goes through, and the Altera has, with the Altera you can disconnect and USB charge the remote control for your Altera. Okay, so I always whack that on charge. Turn that on. Okay, so I'm always charging that when I charge my main batteries, okay? And we'll get down here and have a look. This is under the center console, the Fusion 19, okay? Now I've got two. So this is my cranking battery here. It's a bit dark, you probably can't see. Cranking battery. These are all Sentry batteries, okay? Great product, very reliable. And so I've got my 12 volt cranking battery here, and then I've got two deep cycles set up in series, is that correct? Let's plug this baby in. Okay, so got power, and she starts charging. So usually that takes maybe, I don't know, I'm usually mucking around in here for about an hour or so. So I'll leave the two 24 volt set up to charge while I do all my rigging up, and then I'll change it over to the cranking battery just to top that up. It's usually pretty good because it's hooked up to the Evinrude, so when I'm powering along with the G2 on, all the extra ampage and everything is coming through and charging my cranking battery. So I am curious to know if you can take, so I've got two 12 volts in series, okay, to provide 24 volts to my Min coder. I'm really curious to know if anybody out there has worked out how to, because I want to put some lights and things in the boat, okay, a couple of USB ports and lights that are going to be 12 volt. So rather than putting a whole nother 12 volt battery in there, is there a way that you can essentially step down from 24 volt to 12 volt without having an uneven draw off your two 12 volt batteries that are connected in series? I'll be really curious to hear if anybody has done that and had success with it in a marine environment. Let me know, because all this electrical stuff is not my forte. So I'm learning as I go. All right, so maybe we can learn together. All right, so into the rigging. I'll get all this ready to go for tomorrow, and I'll show you some action right now from earlier in the week. I've had a really frustrating week fishing. Everywhere I went, there seemed to be sharks. I'll show you a few sounder shots so you can have a look. You can see very, very clearly there's plenty of fish around, a lot of tuna schools around, and that's bringing the sharks in. But you can see some really big arches here as well, which is a bit of a problem. And I'll also show you some sounder shots when I escaped the sharks. I managed to stumble across this little school of fish getting around. See if you can guess what they are. And I wasn't quite ready. I was very unprepared. So here I am telling you about getting prepared with your batteries and your rigging. Well, in this situation, I was very unprepared. I was just motoring along nice and slowly in a very, very familiar spot. Everybody will recognize this location. I saw a school of fish on the sounder. I had the little had the atomic prong on, okay, a little 1/4 ounce jig. It's a bit bashed, I got to replace it. I'm a little 6 to 12 pound outfit, and I literally just, I thought to myself, oh, why not? So I just picked it up, cast it forward of the boat, thinking they were going that way, and hooked up, and this is what happened. Now I spotted this guy on the sounder as I was coming through this channel. I saw a whole school of them. So I'm not exactly prepared, because I just saw the school and I just thought, oh, I'll just cast this little lure out. I got one flick. I think it feels really heavy because I'm in against the current. Okay, so not only am I fighting the fish, I can see them on the sand now. There's a massive school of fish just there. I'm going to really struggle to get this guy in, I think, because I'm really light leader. The only thing I can really do is just match it with him, get above him, try and get right above him, and tire him out. I don't want to pop that leader, it's such a light leader. It's only 10-pound leader. It's almost like he knows it too. I'd love to know what it is. At least like to just see colour. Well, stone ready school. Alright, I can see them on the sounder. There's a big school of them right there. And he's just trying to stay with them. I think I'll just turn that off. Just drift, because a lot of power. Rocks. What am I doing? I really need to put this around my neck. I wasn't prepared, you see. And just get up here. Right. Let's go. Proper battle. Battle time. It's on like Doggy Kong. Oh, throw the net around. Don't forget where the net is, Luke, after your last ridiculous effort. Oh, he's right up there in the shallows. I hope I haven't got a turtle or something. Stingray. Does look very stingray-ish. Not high stick too much. I reckon he just tried to rub me off on the rocks then. Oh. So this is the, I couldn't have chosen a lighter outfit to throw. It's a 6 to 12 pound, 7 foot rod. He's right up on the surface. Just hope it's not a stingray. I picked a stingray up on the bottom of the this time I'm sitting over here near the island. I'm kind of out of the current a bit. He's in the current, so the thing I've got against me is, sorry about that sun, is he's recharging basically. He's getting fresh oxygen into his body, puts his head into the current, okay, and swims with the oxygen and water and everything flowing straight into his gills, so that he's not losing energy. I'm not tiring him out, and I can't out muscle him because I haven't got a huge outfit, because I was silly and I threw this little tiny thing. So I've got a, oh, it's a bit golden, brutal golden, big school of goldens. There's heaps of them with him, a huge school of them. That is a fat golden trevally, all right? He's not that long, but he is fat. Very fat. Well, we're gonna have the sun against us, aren't we? So I'll try and show him over here. Settle down. Stand off to the side a bit. So he's taken the prong, 1/4 ounce Seeker jig head on the prong. Still got plenty of life. I think I just pressed something on the remote. Beautiful Hervey Bay golden trevally, folks. So there's a big school of them coming through this channel right now, so I want to get back and see if I can get another one. I'll just quickly get a couple of photos and get him back real quick. Hopefully that lights. Looks good in my eyes, but I don't know what it'll look like in the camera. Give him a nice release. Strong as, just swam straight off. Let's see if we can do it again.